call the meeting to order. 6:01. The Runnemede Board of Education meeting is called to order. The Board of Education is in compliance with Chapter 231 of Public Laws of 1975, entitled the Open Public Meetings Act. The date, time, and location of the meeting was appropriately advertised by notifying the retrospect as well as posting notices in the Borough Hall, the Runnemede Post Office, Murray Holt School, Lime Bingham School, Grace Downing School, and the on the website from the Runnemede Public School District. Everyone, please rise and pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call vote. Ms. Adair.
Here.
Ms. Beebe.
Here.
Mr. Buckheim.
Here.
Ms. Davidson. Mr. Lego.
Here.
Mr. Murray.
Here.
Ms. Panzarello. And Ms. Sands. We have a quorum.
Okay. Also present, Mark Iannucci, Superintendent, Sean McCarron, the BA, Director of Curriculum, Jay Jazzy, Principal of Bingham and Downing School, Steve Peely, Principal of Volts, Steve Maloney, Vice Principal of Volts. And that's it. So I guess I need a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting on June 15th.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion made by Jazz, second by Maria. Roll call, please.
Ms. Adair.
Yes.
Ms. Beebe.
Yes.
Mr. Buckheim.
Yes.
Mr. Lego.
Yes.
Ms. Panzarello.
Yes.
Mr. Murray.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, next up will be our presentations.
All right, how would you like to work this?
Okay. So this evening for July, we usually go over the presentation. For our presentation, we do our district goals. Then over the summer months, we also talk about the board goals. In front of each board member right now, I've given you a copy of your 2021 board goals. So what we're going to do this evening is I'm going to just go through the board goals from 2021, and then at the August Board of Education meeting, we will revise the goals and set the board goals for 21-22. After that, Mark will be going over his superintendent's goals for the 21-22 school year. I will then be going over the district goals, which would be encompassing curriculum, special education, Bingham Downing goals for 21-22, and we will go from there. Any questions? Okay. So last year's Board of Education goals, goal number 1, and a lot of these are still going to apply. One of the things that we talked about last year was that the board goals were actionable goals for the board members to complete as a board themselves. So goal number 1 was communication, promote effective communication and involvement between school board, administration, and community. Items that we had listed to accomplish that goal were utilize social media to deliver accurate information to all stakeholders, invite stakeholders to board meetings for important presentations, adhere to direct communication with the chief school administrator concerning all school matters, attend 4 school functions per year, host board meetings at various school locations during the year, and provide assistance to the administration and staff with service projects. Goal number 2 was board member education. Each board member will take initiative to participate in various board responsibilities. 3 items: earn a minimum of 5 New Jersey School Board Association continuing education credits annually, complete the required annual governance training, and 3, evaluate the superintendent promptly each year. As a board, we always pride ourselves on the board education that each member has done and has earned awards through New Jersey School Board Association annually for that. Goal number 3 is safety and security. Promote the safety and security of both staff and students. 4 action items we have are continue to assess and update our district safety and security for all facilities. 2, involve all key responders when planning and implementing security drills. 3, have the administrative team provide 3 safety and security updates during the school year at monthly board meetings, and we stated October, January, and April. And 4, support any measure the CSA and administrative team deems necessary in an effort to provide a safe and healthy learning and working environment during the pandemic. So those were the goals set. Some of those, of course, are going to be modified. However, I guess What we would like you to do is to take these, think about what changes you feel might be necessary, so that way we can discuss those at the August meeting. Any questions about the board 2021 goals at this time? Okay, so then that'll be discussed further, and that'll be under the presentation section at the 2021 meeting. Also, if you'd like to send me any of your ideas or thoughts, I can put them together, so that way we can have that given out to each board member prior to the meeting for our discussion next month. Superintendent goals?
All right, we usually try to take goals that are similar to board goals as well as district goals. So I try to do that. You'll see some of the things you've seen in the past that we've added to, some new things we put on there. The first goal is develop professional capacities and practices in school district personnel, fostering engaged community of teachers and professional staff. One of the things we'd like to look at is reviewing some of our evaluation tools, not only for teachers, administrators, as well as our support staff, and also kind of refine some of those practices that ensure that they're being utilized correctly. It's been, how many years have we been using this? 9? Right? So we're still using Danielson evaluation tool for staff. If there's things we'd like to tweak, maybe look at moving forward with other components that we haven't used in the past, we'd like to add. And some things we'd like to take away as well. Provide learning opportunities for students and staff to navigate the road forward. Last year was the road back. This year is the road forward. I think I shared this with you. I'm not sure if I did not do my weekly update this week. It's not going to be as lengthy as it was last year, but it does cite some of the things that we talked about last year in the road back. Don't print this out on your color. I learned the hard way because most of it is just beautiful color pictures. Use your black and white.
And that's a document that the Department of Education provides to school districts. So they did the road back when we had to plan for the pandemic, and now the road forward as we move into a new school year.
And then cultivate and motivate professional relationships within the district, not only on my part, but the administrators. It's going to be a challenge not only to get students back to a normal learning environment, but also staff, and make sure we're addressing some of their mental health concerns as well as their concerns they might have come back in person in September. Second goal is to engage and promote the school community in meaningful ways. Again, we're going to look at reviewing and revising some of our safety practices, protocols, and communication methods. We've learned a lot of things from the pandemic as far as communication with families. Everything doesn't have to be on a piece of paper sent home, so Mrs. Prinzrell sends it back with her, phone numbers or 6 phone numbers on there or whatever. We can have the parents take some ownership of that, do it through the real-time parent portal, and kind of things like that. Kind of some of the practices we've been doing are a little antiquated for the 21st century, and also allow our professional staff not to have to enter in all that information for them. So, Mrs. Marker, if I could use an example, if she received that emergency card information, she has to enter all that stuff in manual or updates. It's just time consuming, and for a parent, if you're doing it, and we're all tech savvy enough, for the most part, you're doing your phone, you're doing a laptop, you're doing it whatever, you should be able to handle that, and it'll save us some time. Attend professional development opportunities within the school district, and also local family engagement opportunities. I had the pleasure of hanging out with Mrs. Panzarella as they threw candy at me. Some of the groups got a little violent at the football opportunity. I'm not really sure if that was at me or you. I wasn't really sure. And then some other things coming up. You have your National Night Out coming up in August, and we have some fall festivals again scheduled in October. So not only getting some of our teachers and staff, but hopefully enjoy some of the activities as well, and then involving our community moving forward, whether it's the town council or some of the other close activities that we are involved with, because we weren't able to do that stuff last year. Everything seemed like it was in Zoom or some type of meeting that was virtual, and it kind of takes that personal touch on it. And then effectively to manage district operations and resources. Again, things we learned from the pandemic, protocols we're using, not only in day-to-day operations, but long-term facility things we want to look at. Working with not only Sean, the principals and supervisors, but everyone. That those practices need to be completed. And then also providing some professional development opportunities to our staff on budget things. Sean and I usually go to things when we're allowed to. We talk about budget planning. Hopefully that stuff is back on this year. I'm not really sure if it's going to be or not, but hopefully it will be. We'll share that with you on a monthly basis. So that's some of the things I'm looking at. Again, I could always add or tweak some things as we move along. These aren't set in stone, but that's what we're planning for. Myself, the 21-22 school year. So if you have any questions, feel free.
Everybody's good? Any questions? Thank you. Oh, we have no correspondence. At this time, we'll open up, district goals?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry.
you're good. The slides just keep coming. This is the last one.
You're little.
You're doing fine, man.
So for the, for 21-22 district goals, so the following goals have been created in collaboration with all administrators throughout the district, and these goals will be implemented during the 21-22 school year. So while we kept with the theme, last year we set it up with educational health, emotional health, and physical health, and while last year a lot of things were focused on the pandemic, what that looked like with different versions of learning, we kept with those three overarching goals, and then we revised as far as what our action plans were going to be and what our goals for the 21-22 school year would be as well. So for educational health, create an environment of learning that fosters growth post-pandemic. 3 action items that we have: create an environment that fosters differentiation and addresses the needs of students at all levels. We are currently looking to hire a BCABA, which is a behavioral consultant, who would be in the district 5 days a week to provide supports to teachers and students who need that support in the classroom to provide a great learning environment. RBTs, or registered behavioral techs, are instructional aides, receive additional training on how to handle students differently and how to handle students with different needs. We are going to continue with that program. That's an additional certification that they receive, and our school district actually supports our instructional aides in earning that certificate, so that way they can provide that support in the classroom as well. Intervention specialists, a math coach, intervention and referral services, and also benchmarks and resources for addressing identified needs within, oh, I'm sorry, totally jumped the line. And looking at programs that address students at various levels. Because we understand that our students are going to be at various levels. It was a difficult year last year, and our teachers, I think, are ready and prepared to work with students where they are and to address those needs as they come back in the fall. Number 2, ensure the curriculum is aligned to the New Jersey Student Learning Standards, and that our programs, benchmarks, and resources address for those identified needs. We are currently going through curriculum updates with updates that the Department of Education has put out in terms of updated curriculum guides. And then also we are going through a full QSAC. QSAC is the state, every 3 years we go through a QSAC monitoring where they come in and they review our overall program. They review our governance as far as how we operate as a school district. They review personnel and finance. So they review all of those areas, so that this year is our year that they will be coming through. This will be our 3rd QSAC that we've gone through as an administrative team since I've been here at least. Provide professional development to staff, fostering their growth and knowledge within their profession. CPI training, Fontes and Pinnell on-site training. So we bring in consultants from outside that can help our teachers and support their learning and growth in implementing the programs that we have. Last year, a lot of that training took place remotely, which is difficult to do a full day training remotely. This year we're excited because we're actually going to be able to have the trainers on site where they will be able to push into the classrooms. They'll be able to have the materials in their hands with the teachers, modeling exactly how the program should be implemented, and then allowing the teachers to do that as well. And then also we have our tech integration specialist, Mr. Benor, who will continue working with students and staff members pushing into the classroom. And also RBT training will be taking place this year for aides, as I had stated earlier. That's goal number 1. Goal number 2, emotional health. Identify ways we can effectively re-engage students, support adults, and cultivate a positive climate for academic learning. Our 3 areas, the way we plan on addressing that: number 1, focus on professional growth and reinvigorate staff with engagement strategies to reach students. One thing that we actually just set up, Ms. Yazzie and I are super excited about it, is a motivational speaker on the first day who's really going to talk about recharging and reinvigorating, getting people excited for the start of the school year, looking at the way in which we look at things and our perspective and how that translates to students and how we can bring that energy into the classroom and have a great school year. Looking at job-embedded professional development. As a district, we put a lot of emphasis on our coaches, our technology integration specialist, our math coach who will be starting for this school year, because with job-embedded professional development, you're learning directly in that moment. And that's extremely vital. So that way, it's not like you're going away and not seeing how it's implemented. You're learning as it's happening. And I think that that's an important thing to take place. And then also our social and emotional learning supports. We're already working with our CPIS, who is funded through our preschool program, who is also a certified social worker. And she'll be working with Ms. DeMattis, our school social worker, on creating different opportunities in conjunction with our guidance counselors to provide those social and emotional supports for our students and staff. Morning meetings and advisory periods will be focused on specific social and emotional skills, district-wide to address student needs. That's developed by the school counselors and also the social workers and shared with our teachers who will be implementing it. Use data from staff, student, and parent surveys to identify and redefine ways we can address emotional health moving forward. That's goal number 2. Goal number 3 is physical health. Assess the physical facility used by students and staff to continue providing a safe and healthy environment conducive to learning and growth. 4 action steps we have for that are ensuring that health and safety practices are implemented based on the advice of CDC and the Department of Health, which we're required to follow. Number 2, organize a physical space to create an engaging learning environment. While we had to remove a lot of things to bring students back, a lot of those materials and items and desks and furniture are able to come back into the classrooms moving forward. Number 3, continue open lines of communication with our school physicians, school nurses, and stakeholders. And number 4, review practices utilized during the pandemic to see how we can provide greater participation. One example that's come up multiple times is with parent meetings. Many times parents might not be able to participate in a meeting that was taking place during the school day with staff. However, once we started using Google Meets and other opportunities and giving the parents the option, are you able to come in or would you like to have a Google Meet? Many more parents, participation-wise, were able to participate that way instead of having to come into the building. So it's trying to say, well, what can we take away from that situation that we might move forward with as a district? And that's goal number 3. Any questions?
All right, we don't have any correspondences, and right now we're going to open up to public comments on agenda items only. If anybody has any comments on the agenda items only? Superintendent?
Sure. All reports were picked up back in September. I just want to give you a quick update on some of the things happening district-wide since last time we met. The asbestos flooring work here at Goals actually is going well. I think it's actually going to be done this week, from what Frank told me, which is good. That's ahead of schedule. Epic Environmental, we use them again. They check to make sure everything's okay in the removal and the installation process, and then when it's finished, to make sure the air quality is safe. Pointing work at Bayman Downing, also running on schedule. You've seen his trucks out there basically on a daily basis. I'm sure the neighbors love it when they start at 7 a.m., but that's when they start. Haven't had too many complaints on that, but we try to work with people as we go. Any technology or smart board installations, some of that stuff has been done, some of the stuff is scheduled. The pandemic has created opportunities with a lack of drivers for trucks and things like that. So some of the things we're supposed to have delivered aren't coming like they usually do. So some of that stuff might be pushed into September. But once again, we won't do any installations during the school day. We do in September. We'll always do a second shift like we've done in the past. Maintenance crews, they're working, cleaning, painting. Other projects typically done in the summer. Preschool down here when we first come in. They've done a great job kind of bringing that up to date. That's the first original preschool, when I was here. They're bringing that up to speed, so it looks good. Summer programs are already at the midway point. The attendance is consistent. We haven't had any major issues from what we know of. Kids are participating. That's been great. Food service continues on Wednesdays. We're averaging about 160 meals a week, which we're going to run that to August 18th. And then come September, I think we're going to have a little different delivery system. We'll have more information for that in August. District administration teachers have been working on planning, scheduling, and coordinating school activity to resume to the traditional in-person format, while still monitoring guidelines and safety protocols at the local state level. In or about mid-August, we will give more information out to our families with the anticipated schedules, expectations, and other guidance to get our students and staff back to school safely and efficiently. We'll take that opportunity to enhance our procedures and practices, like I said before, to keep us up to date with the 21st century. And any changes to the schedule after that will be communicated via electronic communication and available. And back to school barbecue is September 1st, 5:30 to 7:30 here at Goals. Weather permitting.
Just please repeat that, please.
Sorry, September 1st, 5:30 to 7:30. I believe it's a Wednesday? Wednesday? Right? And we'll go from there, everybody's invited, we'll get the word out. We'll send some correspondence out to families, over several weeks so people can put it on the calendar. Yep, and we'll also invite the community to the board. I'll send out information out to them, so you can see participation in the Women's Club, the Rotary, VFW.
Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts for that, I think.
We have about 10 babies.
Yeah.
So it worked out well. And again, this, Dennis asked me, how's the summer going? It's about a 150, about a 180, but about a 150 compared to last summer. We're planning, doing the best we can planning. Hoping we don't get any information or that makes it any different. But I go to the county meeting on Thursday morning, 8:30. It's our first one this summer, so I'm eager to hear what they have to say. Any questions on summer things going on in the district that you might have seen or heard? Or? Very pleased. Good. It's fair, it's top. It's great. Yeah. And then, lastly, as personnel, there's some items to approve. The agenda might have changed since if you saw it on Friday or even as of this morning. We were doing interviews this morning and we were able to get some people approved. That's not so excited about that. And that's all I have. Okay. Dr. McCarron?
I'm good.
You're good? You're good, okay. And district reports will resume in the September Board of Education meeting. Are there any other reports for tonight? Nothing else? Okay, we'll move on to new business. On the new business, I'm going to need a motion to approve number 1 under property and transportation. Maria?
I'll second.
Dennis? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Dare,
Yes.
Ms. Beebe,
Yes.
Mr. Buckon,
Yes.
Ms. Davidson,
Yes.
Mr. Lego,
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella,
Yes.
Ms. Sams,
Yes.
Mr. Murray.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Moving on under personnel, I'll need a motion to approve items 1 through 10. We'll go with Maria and Chaz for a second. I'll get you next time. Any questions on that, anybody? We all good? Yes, we do. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Dare,
Yes.
Ms. Beebe,
Yes.
Mr. Buckon,
Yes.
Ms. Davidson,
Yes.
Mr. Lego, Ms. Panzarella, and Ms. Sams,
Yes.
and Mr. Murray.
Yes.
Motion
The
passes.
new staff members aren't able to attend tonight. We'll have that back at a future date. Some of the things were kind of last second, as we said, we're talking to some of these people that really, as of this morning, they were out of state or weren't able to come, so we'll get that back at a future date.
Thank you. Okay, under finance, I'm going to need a motion to approve items 1 through 11.
I'll make that motion to approve items 1 through 11 under finance.
I'll second.
Yes, Patty, thank you. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Dare,
Yes.
Ms. Beebe,
Yes.
Mr. Buckon,
Yes.
Ms. Davidson,
Yes.
Mr. Lego,
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella, Ms. Sams,
Yes.
Mr. Murray.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Under curriculum, I'll need a motion to approve items 1 and 2.
I'll make that motion.
Patty and Angel, thank you.
All right.
Any questions?
Any questions? No? Roll call?
Mrs. Dare,
Yes.
Ms. Beebe,
Yes.
Mr. Buckon, Ms. Davidson,
Yes.
Mr. Lego,
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella, Ms. Sams,
Yes.
Mr. Murray.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, under policy and public relations, I'll need somebody to make a motion to approve items 1 through 3. Maria? Angel, thank you. Any questions, anybody? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Dare,
Yes.
Ms. Beebe,
Yes.
Mr. Buckon,
Yes.
Ms. Davidson,
Yes.
Mr. Lego,
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella, Ms. Sams,
Yes.
Mr. Murray.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, so we have no executive session.
Just recognition of citizens.
Oh, I'm sorry. At this time, we'll open the meeting up to the public for any non-agenda items. Everything's good?
May I make a comment?
Sure.
This would be under correspondence. Kathy Jacinda, the director of the Runnemede Library, she informed me today that she would like me to invite the board and the staff to the reopening of the library. They have done reconstruction, and their grand opening is going to be Saturday, September 25th, from 10 to 1 p.m. And she would just like an official address. I wasn't sure what the new board office address was.
I can email it tomorrow.
Thank you, yes. But she wanted to invite administration. I don't know, I just got the message today.
Mrs. Kelly, get Eleanor's attention. This is where we have a disconnect. It was announced at the council meeting that the townwide yard sale is the last Saturday and Sunday in September. Now we are saying to our already small community, no, come back to the library. Did you hear that? Yeah. That's not good. It's terrible because we're pulling from. Do you hear what I'm saying? If you were a family that wanted to participate here, it's hard to understand.
Well, it's a 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
The
time.
yard sale is from 9 to 3. Exactly.
I'm just reading.
No, I'm just saying, right away, whatever. We said right then. That's why we have a disconnect in our town. It's terrible. Terrible. Absolutely. Because the yard sale's already been council approved. Yes.
Anybody have anything else? We have no executive session. That's good for adjournment.
Need to adjourn.
Put it made by Maria.
I didn't get that.
Okay. So motion to adjourn. We have Maria and Dennis. Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.